And hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Morning Tapes podcast. My name is Matthew Fontaine, and I hope you're all having or had a great morning today. You know, I did. I woke up at 10 a.m. this morning, which is, I feel like, the perfect line between getting up early and being a lazy bum. So, you know, it's okay. I'm back at college now. I'm all settled in. Give me a break. I want to sleep in today because my earliest class is at 11:45. And that wasn't even today. That's my overall weekly schedule. My class today started at 2. So it's not like I needed to get up bright and early for anything. I do have to take acting class though on Mondays. So that kind of sucks. But maybe that'll improve my films in the future. Who knows? Maybe I gotta come back for Gone Awry Part 2. That's not happening. That might happen. I was briefly thinking about it, but I don't think it's gonna happen. The only reason I was kind of thinking about it is I don't care that I'm like low-key spoiling it right now, but I was partially thinking about doing a part 2 for Gone Awry just to be like, oh, I can show my progress for over the years. So like when I graduate, I make part 2, and it's like, oh, now you see the progress over the years, kind of a continuation of the first like major film that I made. So that's a possibility that could happen. I do have some ideas, but I'm really not thinking about it that much because I don't think we really need that. I think maybe making it all my own new original idea would be enough to like show that. But maybe it's not a stupid idea. Actually, what do you guys think? It's very early to be asking questions at a podcast, but what would you guys think? Would you guys like to see that? Leave a comment down below on my YouTube channel. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, go over to the Font Films YouTube channel and just leave a comment. What do you think? But we have some interesting news to talk about this episode. Mainly discussing the Oscars. So we're gonna, you know what? We'll just jump into the news real quick. The day after this episode's release, January 22nd, 2026, Oscar nominations will be releasing, so we get to see which movies are up for nominations to win awards for this year. This year was a huge year for movies, I think, and I think there's going to be plenty of movies that deserve awards that maybe, don't get nominations, or don't win the nominations, what I meant to say. So this episode's kind of just going to be talking about, what movies I think should win best award, which movies I think, which movies wow, can't talk. Which movies I would like to see win best award, which movies I think are like in the grand scheme of things most likely to win best award, and then which movies I think are going to be known as just the worst movie to release this year, or in general, because there's one movie in general that I know that everyone hated, and we will we'll get to that. But yeah, Conan O'Brien is hosting the Oscars yet again. I really liked what he did with the ceremony last year, so I'm very excited to see what he brings to the table this year. And yeah, I kind of just want to briefly discuss about the movies and stuff. So possibly shorter episode this week, but that's okay because we'll come back next week, so a little bit stronger. But for this week, let's just talk about Oscars. So, what do I think is going to be? What would I like to see as best movie? I saw a lot of movies this year, and the big three that I think are very possible to get Oscar or to get like awards for the best movie of the year. Coming in at number 3, we have Marty Supreme. I've stated it in a couple episodes ago. I love Marty Supreme. A very good movie. Number 2, One Battle After Another. Personally, very overhyped film. It just wasn't necessarily my cup of tea. Was pretty good, but could have been a little bit better. And number 1, I feel like this is going to be like absolutely necessarily. I don't want to see it win, but I think it most likely is going to win. Sinners is probably gonna get best film. Just gonna say it right now. Sinners is probably gonna get best film. Just because Michael B. Jordan played two different characters. My roommate said this. Shout out to my roommate. I don't know. I'm not gonna dox him. I'm not gonna give out his name, but he said he made a very interesting comment that he didn't play two different characters because the two brothers are low key the same exact person, as in like they're the same character. It's just a copy and paste. Just because they're two different people in the movie doesn't mean they have like the same character, like like the two characters think exactly the same and act exactly the same. Therefore, they're pretty much the same character. Like he didn't need to understand two different people and act in two different ways because they're so similar. But I think I definitely think Sinners is most likely to get best film of the year. Unfortunately, I do think Sinners I liked Sinners, however, I just think it was like very overrated. Every film student, every like any film kid this year was like, "Oh, did you watch Sinners? Oh, dude, I watched Sinners 35 times this week." Now, granted, I do happen to watch movies a lot. I've seen Joker so many times, which is an embarrassment because that's like the most cliche thing ever. But I will say I've watched Sinners once, and I feel like that's enough. I feel like I got my share of Michael B. Jordan. It was fine. It was great. Oh my god! Wait, I just thought of one. Formula One was. Oh yeah, man. Can I slide a movie in there? Formula One was a great movie. I completely forgot Formula One existed. Wow. Okay, let's put. So now I'm four. I think Marty Supreme goes to four. I'll put F1 at three, and then one battle after another, and then Sinners. Personally, out of these three, which one do I want to see win? I think personally, this year, for best movie of the year, I'm not gonna lie, I would absolutely love to see Formula One win best movie. Sinners was great, but Formula One, you just can't beat. That's Formula One is one of the best movies I think I've seen in my life, and that's not even an exaggeration. It's just a really good movie. Brad Pitt did an amazing job. The way they shot the film. This might just turn into a podcast episode about me ranting into Formula One. Wow. No, because it's crazy though, because the way they filmed Formula One was that they basically, I think they didn't they use that. I'm pretty sure they used Formula Two cars because they were cheaper. Because Formula One cars were one much harder to drive, and since it's actually Brad Pitt and the I forgot the other actor's name, in the cockpit, they had to make it a little bit easier, so they used Formula Two cars. I'm pretty sure. I'm acting like I don't have my computer open right now. Hold on. Did they F2 cars in F1? Yes, the Formula One movie used modified Formula Two cars, but they stripped Formula Two vehicles and put a shit ton of cameras on it to get the shots and everything. The editing was fantastic. If you watch the movie, there's a sneaky little like transition there when I think it's the final race when it's the two drivers and they place a camera behind the steering wheel. So when one driver moves his arm over the camera, they cut it there, and then when the other driver does the same turn, they make it so like you just see the white arm cut it, and then it's like Brad Pitt, and then there's a cut there when the arm passes the camera. I'm really bad at describing this, but like when the arm passes the camera, then it's the other actor, which is an insane transition, and I don't feel like it's getting that much recognition, and it needs to. Apple TV did a lot of like behind the scene promotion of it, and the way they just shot like the crash scene from the movie, they had like a full like a launch track, and they had like a car, and they sent it like three times. The first time wasn't good enough. They're like, I need some more gas. or need some more like juice to launch the car. The second time they did it, was like, okay, we're getting there, but we'll kick it up, just kick it up a little bit because what they wanted to do was they wanted to land in the net, like the fence, and just like crash and roll over. So the third time they did it, someone fucked up because they sent it on the launch track and they set the settings way too high. So once the car went down the launch track, it low key flew up and flew over the fence into the woods. But that was the take they ended up going with because it looked so natural, like it looked so real. And even though it completely missed what they were going for, they used that take they probably just used that take because the car was demolished by that point. But still, it looked great. And then they used another I think I don't even know how many Formula 2 cars they used during the edit or like the production of this, but then they had they set up this Formula 2 like cockpit and like the body of it to this crane and this spinning mechanism. And then they had one of the other actors in it and then they spun it like a minute straight. It was crazy because he's like 50 feet up in the air and he's just spinning in this fake Formula One car. It was insane. What else did they do? I don't know. Ed Sheeran made Ed Sheeran made a song. Who else made a song? Someone else made a song for Formula One. F1 soundtrack. Oh, Hans Zimmer. Okay, well there you go. That's Christopher Nolan's boy right there. Hans Zimmer has made so many other stuff. Okay. Chris Stapleton, Bad as I Used to Be. That's the song I'm thinking about. Banger. Absolute banger. Basically, if you have not seen Formula One, you absolutely need to. It is definitely personally the movie of the year for me. I could talk about this more. I'm pretty sure they're gonna make a sequel to it too. Brad Pitt's acting is phenomenal in it. I need to I hold on. I really need to remember this other guy's name. Uh Damson. I'm so sorry that I butchered that name. But he plays Joshua Pierce in it. Um I'm so sorry. I can't. I That's a very famous actor too, and I'm like destroying his name. Anyway, he's not gonna watch this. Why am I apologizing? Unless I am. Maybe I'm his future director. You know, he's gonna reject my job offer because he's like, oh, I watched in the Morning Tapes episode 13 where you just talked about Formula One and you couldn't pronounce my name. Whatever. Um, but yeah, Formula One was a great movie. I can't believe that I forgot Formula One existed. Like the movie got me into thinking about what I mean, I had to watch it like 3 times, but, like, the 3rd time after I watched it, I was like, "Man, I should really get into more Formula One," or just, like, the Formula One series and stuff. Um, but yeah. Alright, anyways, the movie that I think is gonna absolutely fail I mean, this is not gonna be a shock to anyone. War of the Worlds is gonna be wait, is it War of the Worlds, with Ice Cube is an abomination to society, and it should have never been made. Are there reviews for this? Yeah, 4% Rotten Tomatoes. Nice. 2.5 on IMDb, a 1 out of 5 on Letterboxd. That's surprising that it even got that high, I'm not gonna lie. Um, are there reviews on Letterboxd? Let's see. Let me just read of just a random review for War of the Worlds real quick. There we go, reviews. First comment, this is certainly a movie. I'll scroll down just a little bit. I lost an hour and a half of my life to this. Genuinely one of the worst movies I've seen. Also, giant robot aliens. Okay, yeah, that's all I need to hear. I've seen clips of this, and it's just like Ice Cube talking through his webcam, and Ice Cube doesn't know how to act for an hour and a half. That's pretty much it. I did not watch it, and I have no desire to. But yeah, that might win a Razzie, which is an award for just the worst movie of the year. Joker 2 won a Razzie. Yeah, the Razzie Awards, which is parody award show honoring the worst of cinematic failures. So, yeah, Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix won a Razzie in 2024 for Joker 2, and War of the Worlds is. I will be surprised. I'm going to be very surprised if War of the Worlds does not win a Razzie. Maybe it's too bad to even win a Razzie, if that's possible. Doesn't even it's so bad that it doesn't even win an award for anything. So, yeah. But that's pretty much it. So I think I would love to see Formula One win Best Picture. However, I really do think that Sinners is going to take it just because it is extremely overrated, and everyone's just like, oh, Sinners this, Sinners that. Michael B. Jordan played two actors, even though they're low-key the same actor, just copied and pasted. And War of the Worlds is a monstrosity. That's the takeaway from this podcast episode. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Maybe this episode wasn't. I keep saying that, like, oh, this episode is gonna be pretty short, and then it just ends up being a regular length episode because I'm just yapping about random movies. This today was about Formula One. So this episode, what I'm gonna predict it. I'm seeing in the future this episode is gonna be titled "Formula One is the best movie of the year." There we go. F1 is the best movie of the year. That's about it. Okay. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of the Morning Tapes podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, I don't know what we're going to talk about next week. Hopefully we'll get some more info on the new Font Films project. I'm currently renaming it because I just come to the conclusion that it's really not, the name is not as good as I thought it was. I made a name for it, and everyone has been saying, like, oh, you really need to change that. So I'll come up with a new name. I'm currently just writing, like, the overall, like, maybe like the log lines of each episode. Just like a basic run through of what what each episode does and what I want the overall story to be. And not necessarily message, but yeah. Yeah, that's about it. I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye, guys.